Hey guys, and welcome to the Dusty Futon Production Studios. This is where I produce all of the content you see and hear from the Dusty Futon. First thing I want to say is thank you for watching this video, because just the fact that you're watching this means the world to me. To kind of get to what we are doing. Now, the Dusty Futon is a musician's podcast, and you may not even know what a podcast is, but even if you do know what a podcast is, this isn't your typical podcast. The way we run things on this, well, first of all, we only focus on local and independent musicians right here in the Southern California area. Only original music as well. And the way we handle this music, we don't actually report on the music itself. We have the musicians do it for you. So we have them as guests on the podcast, and we have a host and a co-host who sit there and have a conversation with these guys. So we go through a few introductions, and then after a few minutes, we play one of their songs. It's kind of like a throwback to the way the radio stations used to be for the local music community. They don't really dedicate much time and energy towards the local music community anymore. This podcast is designed to bring that attention back to the local music scene. And the way we do this is by using the host and the co-host to facilitate a conversation with the band, ensuring they get out what they want, not what we want. It's about the music scene as a whole. I used to be the producer of a morning show for a major radio station here in San Diego. Back then, Tyler, who's one of the hosts right now, and I started this podcast with no real intent to focus on the local music scene. I also spent a lot of my time at the radio station trying to find out how my local friends can get their music on the radio. And I found it to be nearly impossible unless you knew a good publicist, knew somebody in the building, or were signed to a major record label. And to me, that sounded BS for our local radio stations to not play local music as often as they could. And they didn't. And so I quit a little over a year and a half ago to focus really hard on developing the format of the show, to focus really hard on building it up to what it is now, to get any musician who wants to have their voice heard, who wants to say something about their music, they can have a free spot on the Futon. If you're signed by a major record label or you have a lot of money behind you, go elsewhere. This podcast is for the musicians who don't have the money behind them, who don't have the resources available to them. That's what this free resource is for, and that's what your Patreon supports. Once again, thank you so much for being a part of this, and feel free to give me an email, bigjohn@bigjohnentertainment.com, if you have any questions about what I do, what the podcast is about, or anything like that. And if you're a musician or you know musicians who want to be on the show, send them our way, and especially let us know that you're a patron on Patreon when you send us a link. admin@dustyfuton.com. That's how you can get your musician on our podcast. I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart for what you're helping me do for the music industry.
That have never been clean. Missing keys or American cheese. Travel to Sid where the kiss will conceive. Pleasure to meet ya. We're happy to see ya. In the Dusty Futon.